Hello, welcome back everybody. My name is Keith and or Uhfgood if you prefer. And I'm brushing my hair whichever way. Stupid opposite. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm a crazy hair back here. Hmm. 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 Alright, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit quicker because I'm ending the time here and we will continue on and probably won't get to this whole thing to in this. I mean, we got enough time to, but I might be stopping too many times to be able to get through this whole video here. So let's just see what's going on here.
We can now see in our Scenes folder the scene called Minigame. Let's create our game board or playfield. To do this, we will use a stock Unity plane. We can create this plane from either Game Object 3D Object plane or from inside the hierarchy view using the Create menu. Rename this game object Ground.
Okay, so let's go ahead and create a plane. Now the hierarchy is it? Oh, in the create, right? Create. Okay, 3D object and plane. Okay, rename this ground, like he says. So let's go ahead and rename that to ground plane. How about that? Okay, working good.
We can do this by either selecting the game object and using the Enter or Return key to allow editing, or by clicking on the game object twice, slowly. Type in the new name and hit Enter or Return to confirm this change. Reset the transform component using the context-sensitive gear menu in the upper right.
I didn't know that. See, the John Lemon thing didn't show me that. Here, let's actually. Oh, I guess that's the smallest I can actually do that. So let's just resize this a little bit. Okay, that doesn't matter because we're gonna see it mostly in full screen. Okay, so now we're at the ground plane, and actually, I don't know why. Maybe earlier versions didn't reset, but here, let's see something here. Is there a reset in here? There is a reset in here. Reset. That doesn't really do anything. It's just I've just figured I should do it. So, okay.
This will place the game object at the location of 0, 0, 0 in our scene. This point is known as the origin point of the world, and this is where all of the coordinates in the scene are calculated from. Now, with the game object selected and the cursor over the scene view, type the F key or choose Frame Selected from the Edit menu to see the entire game object in the scene view.
Okay, so F, right? So F. Okay. And actually, here, let's just there, like that. Let's do it like that. All right.
Looking at our current scene, we can see grid lines indicating the plane at origin. For the purposes of this project, we will turn them off. Select the Gizmos menu in the scene view and deselect Show Grid.
Okay, deselect Show Grid, Gizmos, and Show Grid. So, let's see, where do you do that here? Gizmos. I don't know if this is going to be the same here. Oh, there is. Okay, so, right. Okay, so let's turn off the grid because that's what he said to do. And let's go ahead and continue on.
We need to change the scale of the ground plane. We can do this in a number of ways. We can use the Scale tool. Simply grab the axis handle you want to change and drag the handle, rescaling the plane. We can click and drag on the title of the field we want to change.
Okay.
Or we can type a number directly into the field we want to change. You can tab between fields and hit Enter or Return to confirm your choice. Now remember, a plane has no volume, and scale does.
Okay, 2, 1, 2. That's what he said. 2, 1, 2. Let's just go ahead over here and let's go ahead and hit F. Nope. Let's go ahead and hit F. Alright. Now let's zoom this in again a little bit. Okay.
Does not work on the y-axis. There will be no change unless you go into negative numbers. In this case, the plane, which is a single-sided object, will simply face the other direction. If you place a plane in the scene and you can't see it, check your orientation between the plane and the camera, and make sure that you have the correct value for the y-axis of scale. This is usually the value of 1. Let's create our player object. In this assignment, our player object will be a Unity sphere. From the Hierarchy Create menu, select Sphere.
Okay.
Rename the sphere Player.
Player.
Reset the transform to make sure it's at origin.
Okay.
Select Edit, Frame Selected, or use the F key while the cursor is over the scene view to focus our scene view camera on our game object. See?
Okay, so let's just do that right now. Let's go ahead and create 3D object sphere, and let's go ahead and click on it. I probably don't need to reset just because of the way it does it, but then let's go ahead and hit F. Okay.
See how the sphere is buried in the plane? This is because both game objects are in the exact same location in the scene, the origin point, or 0, 0, 0 on the X, Y, and Z axes. We need to move the player's sphere up until it rests on the...
Okay, before I do that though, let's do a quickie. Let's see. What I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like we have the gizmos, right? And selection wire. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Because he's got it showing, and I'm just wondering here.
The plane. All Unity primitive objects, cubes, spheres, capsules, have a standard size. They are either 1 by 1 by 1 or 1 by 2 by 1 Unity units. As such, we simply lift the player object up by half a unit in the y-axis, and we know it is lying perfectly on top of the plane.
So half a unit. Okay. So I can actually put 0.5. Let's put 0.6. Wait, that's interesting though. Let's do something here. 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, point. Oh, what was I doing? Okay, 0.5, right? Okay, so that's exactly even what he said anyways. So, all right.
If we look at the game view, we can see that the player game object is lit and it casts a shadow on the plane. All new.
Why don't I also do the thing where the layout. Let's see. Let's try 2 by 3. Okay. How come? Right. See, what has he got? Hierarchy, and let's see here. Hierarchy and inspector there, and the project. No. Let's see. Force split. Nope. Default, of course. Wide. Let's see something here. Let's see if I can put the hierarchy right next to the that. There. And then okay, forget. Let's go back to default. Let's go back to 2 by 3, and let's go ahead and actually put project down below like that, and let's go ahead and save layout as here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's shrink it, crunching it a little bit, and we'll save layout. We'll call it 2 by 2 by 1. How about 2 by 2 over 1? Over 1. Save. 2 by 2 over 1. That's what I call it. Okay. So. We can do that. We can do that a little bit. Okay. So let's go back to this.
Unity scenes come with a default skybox and a directional light to represent the sun, so we don't need to worry about setting up any default lighting. What could be improved, however, is the white player sphere on the white background. Let's add some color to our background, so there is some contrast between the player and the playfield. Right. To add color or texture to a model, we need to use a material. We won't go into the details of materials now, and we won't be using any textures. We will simply use a standard material to add color to the objects in our scene. First, let's create a new folder in our project to hold our materials. We can do this by using the project's Create menu and selecting Folder. Rename this folder Materials. With the Materials folder selected, use the project's Create menu again, and this time select Material. Note how the material was created in the Materials folder. This is because we had the folder selected when we chose to create our new material. Rename this material Background. Select the material, and under Main Maps, the first property is Albedo. Click on the Albedo's color field to open a color picker. Change the color to a nice dark shade of blue. In our case, I will use the RGB values of 0, 32, and 64. For a preview of the material, make sure that the preview window is open. To apply the texture to the plane, simply select the material in the project view and drag it onto the plane in the scene view. Now the player stands out on the dark blue background.
Awesome. So, okay. So, let's create a folder. Let's call it materials. Right. Materials folder. Let's go ahead and now I don't remember what to do here. Create new material. Let's call it background, just like he had it. Background, and then we'll pick albedo, we'll pick a blue, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and just do it like that. And we'll pick it like that. Okay. And that's my preview. Alright, that's fine. I don't mind. Onto the background. And there we go. Actually, it's not dark enough though. Let's make it darker. Okay. Well, that's actually made it a purple, didn't it? Here, let's bring it back here, and let's bring it back more like that. And give it a lot more bluish. Okay, let's just, alright, let's just, oh, great. I'm all running out of time here, but
I want to make one additional change that will help us later in this project. I want to rotate.
Before I do that, let's just look at the RGB 03264. Okay. 03264. Oh, right. 03264. Okay. Enter. Okay, close that. It's the way it looks. It looks, I don't know. It looks weird, but whatever.
Material, make sure that the preview window is open. To apply the texture to the plane, simply select the material in the project view and drag it onto the plane in the scene view. Now the player stands out on the dark blue background. I want to make one additional change that will help us later in this project. I want to rotate the main directional light so that we have better lighting on our player. Select the directional light, and in the transform component, change the transform rotation on the y-axis to 60. This will give better shape.
60. Okay, so select the light, the Y component to 60. Okay.
To our player sphere. Now we have a player game object and a background playfield.
Awesome. So I got that, and I should just Control S, and then I'll mark that as completed. And then we'll stop. We'll stop and we'll stop and we'll stop, and I'll say thank you for watching. And considering that this is looks like it's gonna be fairly quick to go through, I'll do over the next few days, and then I'll see about going back to the other two deals I was doing, the wiki book and the John Lemon thing. So thanks for watching.